Hey, Price Bourgeois with Bourgeois Insurance. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how they figure out your rates. Very popular question, probably something that most people really fuss about, and I don't blame you. Insurance is not cheap, so what I wanted to talk about is probably the top 5 or 6 things that insurance companies look at. What's great about us is when we give you quotes or work on your insurance, we're not restricted to one company. So we're going to look at 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 different companies, depending on what's out there for you. So anyway, probably the first thing that most companies are going to look at, obviously, is accidents and tickets. I mean, obviously, if you have a bad driving record, they're gonna hit you. Tickets usually last about 3 years on your record. Accidents can go as far as 5 years. But it's not just at fault accidents that they look at. Even not at fault accidents, while they probably won't make your rate go higher, they can take away a discount. For instance, if you have a not at fault accident, you're not going to be able to claim an accident-free driving record. You might not be at fault, but it still affects you. Next thing is credit. Credit is huge. I mean, it's probably right up there with accidents and tickets. And I don't know if it's fair, but it's just the way they do it. I can tell you this too, maybe not just your credit rating necessarily, but also your payment history to your insurance company. If you're always running late, or always having to get an extension, or always having to get your policy reinstated, insurance companies don't like that. There's a lot of manpower and a lot of time that they have to spend reinstating your policy. There's some things with the way the state laws run. If you're always having to catch up on your payment, that they're not going to like that, and it crosses over. I mean, if you have insurance with company A and you've been late every single month that you've had it, and then so you shop it and go with another company, they still know that you were always late with that other company. It's very similar. So try to be on time and try to get your credit fixed. I mean, it can't hurt you. Everything else that you're buying, whether it be credit cards or home loans or whatever, all of it's affected by credit. So if you can fix your credit, it'll save you so much money on a lot of things. How long have you had insurance? If your first policy that you've ever gotten, you're going to get hit a little harder than if you've been having auto insurance for 10, 12 years. Also, with that being said, if putting your teenager on your auto insurance will help them out greatly. Whenever they try to go out on their own, they'll be able to show that they've had insurance for X number of years. So even though they're still young, that will help them out whenever they do go out on their own. But also with that, if you have had a lapse in insurance, say, maybe you weren't driving for a year or 6 months or 2 or 3 months, or maybe you just let your policy lapse and you've been driving without insurance for the last 45 days, which, by the way, is extremely dangerous. You're going to get hit harder too. It almost kind of, if you let your insurance lapse and you have a large break in there, it's almost as like part of your credit rating, in a manner of speaking. So try to make sure that you keep insurance. Even if you don't have a vehicle, you may look at possibly getting you can get a non-owner policy that may make sense for you, depending on what the cost is. Well, we would have to look at it, but sometimes some people do that. Location, where you live, where you're garaging at, that makes a big difference. You'll see People that live in bigger cities typically have a higher insurance cost than people who live in more rural areas. In most cases, it's not always that cut and dry. They use zip codes, and basically they look at the zip codes and, what's the rate of being sued, basically, that comes out of that. So someone in a bigger city, especially in Louisiana, where we've got not, we're given when we're born, we have an insurance, a birth certificate, and a lawyer's card given to us at the same time. I mean, it's gotten pretty ridiculous. So all those quick checks especially by zip code, have made a big effect for Louisiana drivers. Now the state's saying that they're working on that, trying to help cut some of that stuff out. We'll see. But for now, in Louisiana in general, and then when you dial it into bigger cities, it's going to cost you more. Claims. Obviously, if you make a lot of claims, your insurance is going to be higher. Now, with that being said, if you need to make a claim, you should make a claim. That's what you have insurance for. Now, if every single time that you run out of gas, you're calling for roadside assistance, and you run out of gas once every other month, you probably get dropped from having roadside assistance, but you have to take some responsibility as well. But also, if you make 4, 5, 6, 7 claims on your comp for little minor dings or something, rather than paying it out of your pocket, you'll be looking forward to a higher rate for a while, and all of that stuff shows up, even if it's $400 or $500. Even if it was a scratch so small you can fix it with a pen, you're gonna pay more. That's just the fact of the matter. It may not be fair, you may not like it, but that's just the way it is. I don't control any of those issues. The cost of the vehicle, as opposed to the color. Color makes no difference at all. But the cost of the vehicle makes a difference. If you're driving a $120,000 used Maserati or whatever, or a $200,000 vehicle, compared to the guy or girl who is driving a Volvo that costs $25,000 or $20,000, yeah, you're going to pay more. Obviously, because anything happens in those two different vehicles, a claim on a $150,000 car is obviously going to cost more than a claim on a $25,000 vehicle. But also the sportiness of it. A Camaro is going to get a higher risk value than a Honda Pilot or a small sedan. So anyway, those are a few things. There's more, but that's kind of the major. Look us up, call us, Bourgeois Insurance in Thibodaux. Phone number is 985-803-8999. Or you can go to 123myquote.com. Someone will get right with you. And we look forward to helping you out, even if you just have questions. Comment, leave us a thumbs up, like us, all that good fun stuff. Talk to you soon. Thanks.